Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Muse Jester. My name is Junior. So, what is the topic of this discussion? This is toy problems. Toy problems. Of course, we'll have different ideas and problems as collectors do. My problem that I always have eventually is because I do reviews and content on YouTube, sometimes I don't open the boxes immediately. And when I do, I don't have time to put them away so far, or I have a big problem right now and all that stuff. So this is the items that I received since that I have not put up since April 12, right? So from April 12, or let's say April, no, let's make it April 10. This is the last one, the very first one that I reviewed, the Crazy Figure Girl 112 scale, and everything else came after that. That means Motu Origins that I haven't put away, Black Series figures that I haven't had the chance to put away, and I'll show you why. Um, the Vintage collection, which only came in 2 days ago, Vintage TIE Fighter pilots, which came in I think a week ago, the Optimus Prime from KFC. This is the Power Master Optimus Prime cab truck that I received. This one came a long time ago. This is the very first one, actually, maybe like a month or two ago, but it's just been sitting on my desk. The Zeta Toy Superion that came in yesterday, the Superion from Transformers Age of the Primes, and this is the newest one that I received, which I haven't even reviewed it. That's the Adam Warlock Infinity Gauntlet from Marvel Legends. Why am I having such a problem putting them together? For one thing, like I said, sometimes when I'm doing a review, I just don't have I just don't want to do reviews, honestly, because doing reviews, honestly, takes a long time. However long that you're seeing this video up, it's at least 30% more than that. So if a video is like 30 minutes, I probably shot like 45 minutes worth, and I just shrunk it down. And then the editing process of that is at least an hour. Yeah, just cut it up. You have to listen to the video, make sure you're not skipping anything, make sure you're not burping or farting in the middle of it, or left or anything like that, or you doubled your thing. So doing videos, honestly, it's a lot of work, and I appreciate all those professional YouTubers out there who do their jobs so well and edit their videos so well, and I appreciate that. But it takes a lot of time, and I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just doing it for fun. I don't really care if I make money or not. It's just like, if you guys listen to it, it's good. If you don't, Anyway, so sometimes I just don't have time to do the review, so the boxes stack up, and then when I actually do the review, I have to put it aside for now while I clean up the boxes and everything, and it just piles up on my desk. This is just a review table. This is not my desk. My desk is right in front of my PC, and then this thing just accumulates as a bundle. So now I'm like intimidated to, in order for me to fix it, it will take me at least 2 or 3 hours. Now, why am I having such a problem? Because space. It's not just the time and everything. I am out of space. I'm out of space. Let me show you right now what my Black Series area looks like. Let's do a fade. This is the shelf. Actually, I have two shelves. This is my Sith Empire Troop shelf and my generic population shelf. That's supposed to be just the Rebels and New Hope and everything, but ended up I had so much space that the Sith and the Empire and the bad guys just took over it. These are the two shelves I'm gonna dedicate to the Black Series. I cannot move anymore because you think this is bad. The rest of my figure collection is just as bad. Here's my Justice League DC Universe Classics. My room collection is packed. I cannot tell you how packed it is. Well, I'll tell you. I actually had to remove the McFarlane 7-inch DC figures because they weren't really giving me any much more joy. It was aggravating line. So that's one of the things I removed. But this two shelves for the Black Series pretty much is very indicative of the problem I'm having with all of my collection, intellectual IPs, right? So they're all full. Where in the shelf am I gonna put my Elite Praetorian Guard? There isn't any. So I have to figure out a way to move these troops back because I actually bought 6 more Black Series that I got. I think like $10 or $9 each that I needed because they were Sith Jet Troopers, and they will give me 2, so that will mean I'll have 5. So I'll have a row, and then I have another Sith regular trooper, which and that lot that has 2. So I'm gonna bring that back to the forefront somehow. And I hate doing this because this is already pretty much the way I want it, you know. But in order for me to bring those 3 out, I have to dig, and it will collapse this whole freaking line. And then this one, I'll push back all these lines, and that should get, because there's still a little bit, just a little bit. I just need like this much to give me a little bit for the Sith Troopers. I'm gonna move all these guys over here to the bottom shelf over here because I realize now I really don't want seeing Darth Maul and all these Sith guys with the Emperor. Honestly, all I want with the Emperor is Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader. As far as I'm concerned, because they're the kind of like the main baddies that were introduced to us in Star Wars: The New Hope. Thrawn, I was almost tempted because I really like this character, but no, I'm gonna stick with just in the very forefront with the Emperor is gonna be Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader. Everything else is just gonna be troops. So that means I can move all these guys and put it in the bottom. Now, the problem is, what do you mean you're gonna put it in the bottom, Junior? Where are you gonna put it in the bottom? Yes, that's the problem. I may have to get rid of Jabba the Hutt. He takes a lot of space that I could use for one singular figure. And I like the idea that there's Sith here in this corner, and then there's the Jedi here in this corner with the lightsabers. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Notice this one right here. I love this, where I'm able to recreate the last Return of the Jedi episode with Anakin Skywalker and his son Luke Skywalker. Anyway, so that's the problem I have with the Black Series. So yeah, that's the problem with my Black Series. I also have the same problem with the Star Wars 3.75 collection. My collection is pretty much over with the 3.75. There's a few things still that I kind of want to get to. Similar to the Black Series, I do want to get more Jedi. So, but with the Star Wars 3.75, I had a lot more room to play in. I still have more shelves that I can remove some vehicles in and put it up in the ceiling, and it will give me like one shelf from the on the 3.75 that I remove vehicles from. It is basically capable of holding hundreds of 3.75 figures, unlike the Black Series. My Black Series that's it. Those 2 shelves is all I'm gonna give them. But let me show you what's going on with my Star Wars 3.75 that I'm having to decide where I'm gonna put this right now. So this might look familiar. No, it's not. This is the 3.75 shelf that I have dedicated for the Emperor way back there and his Imperial troops. I have what's his name over here, temporarily over there. But this is basically where I have the Imperial troops that are from the 4, 5, and 6 trilogy, the original trilogy, that I have them gathered around the time frame of that storyline that supposedly we see these type of troopers in the original trilogy. So this is where I'm going to add the stormtroopers and the TIE pilot. Now this is not as big of a problem as the Black Series because, as you can see, there's still room over here. So I'm glad I was able to do that. I have 24 of the TIE pilots. I'll give 8, but maybe 8. So I'll have 2 rows. As you can see, my rows are comprised of 4, and then 4 stormtroopers here. And then the 2 that I have, I'll put somewhere, maybe here in my Millennium Falcon setup. So I'll have a stormtrooper setup with Darth Vader. But it's really hard because this shelf over here is actually just Star Wars population. It's not really relegated to any kind of Rebel or Imperial troops. This is kind of like, it has all my Rebel scum, or it has all my usual kind of like knickknacks or figures. It's just all over the place, honestly. Yeah, so that's my problem with the Star Wars 3.75. It's not as bad as the Black Series because plus, um, well, no, I don't want to add the TIE Fighter in front because of because this is an older style TIE Fighter. I just want to see their faces, but you see, like here in the back, you can't even see it. But I have Death Troopers over there. Yeah, Death Troopers over there. Communication Troopers over here. Yeah, uh, that is gonna be a problem. I just want to show this off too. So my system of shelving is using this muscle rack kind of shelves, and I realized that I can put one of these in the front and temporarily suspend my AT-ATs in front because I just want a clear floor. I don't want anything on my floor. And this is completely removable within minutes. Within minutes. I just put this in just to make sure it's not sagging. It's actual metal and everything. I don't like it here because what it's doing is basically kind of is in front of my higher end collections, which is the Batmobile Jazz Inc. and my Hot Toys. But yeah, I just wanted to show that off. Now for this one, the Masterpiece Transformers aerial bots, this is not a problem because they're actually going to be replacing my Masterpiece type aerial bots that I had to buy or bought and everything. So they're going to replace that. The 3.75 or the Masters Universe cartoon collection, I still have some space, but I don't have any more space I still have some space in the Masterverse line too, but that's not going there. That's going to my Eternia, Grayskull, and Snake Mountain playset diorama, including the Bayther dragon from the Four Horsemen. I'm actually going to include that as well with that whole collection because I want a fantasy setting in my collection. The Age of Primes Transformers, I still have room for that. I think, yeah, even that's gonna impact. I gotta move some things around. So that's my toy problem at the moment. It's just I don't have any more space, and I don't want to, unless I have to. I don't want to move my toys out of this collection room and put them in boxes because in my mind, once you don't see it anymore, they're useless. They just don't bring you joy, and you're boxing it up and everything. And I'm not the kind of person who's rotating figures or collection around. I don't have time for that. It's a massive undertaking just to put things around. That's the reason, other reason too, why I've been holding off on the Black Series because as you saw in the Black Series shelf, I have to move over 30 figures just to move things around. 30 figures, it takes me about 2 hours to do something like that, honestly. It's fun, but at the same time, it's just a lot of work and everything. That's the problem I'm having. But the thing is, that's also a toy solution because you probably seen me in my comments sometimes where it's like, is it worth it to buy this? Is it gonna give me anything that I don't already have? And I look at my shelving units and my collections like, why? Why would I? I'm happy with the way it is. That's why with the 3.75 version of this one, the Elite Commando Trooper from the Mandalorian. Honestly, I wanted to get this one from the 3.75 Deluxe because I love this design. But they're asking $25 for this one on supposedly deluxe set. No way I'm gonna pay for that. For a supposedly deluxe set, I might pay $16. So at this point, I'm thinking I have enough troops on my 3.75 vintage line. As much as I love this figure, and I really do love this figure, I'm gonna play the waiting game because I can afford to decide not to have this. So if it goes down to $16 on those deluxe packages, then I'll buy 10 of them because these are maybe 8 because these are really good and I do like them, and I feel $16 is a good retail value for the 3.75 lines, but I just don't want to pay them $16. Like, I think the actual price of these 3.75 should be around 12 to $13. Honestly, that's what we should all be paying for these. They're small, they're detailed, they're awesome and everything, but $17 for a 3.75 figure is too much. For a Black Series, I would consider $19 to $20. 25 is too much for a Black Series. But that's the world we're living in now, and I just don't see the inherent value of paying $25 per figure. I think I set my limit at $30 per figure, because it's not the one figure that's going to break me, it's the multiples that I kind of want. Even with, for example, individual characters, like, for example, right now Mattel is acquiring or reacquiring the DC Universe. So we're thinking $20 to $25 per figure. Well, how many characters are there in the DC Universe? We're talking potentially hundreds of figures, and that's $25 per figure. That's a lot of figures, a lot of money. So that it's I don't know. I guess I'm rambling on again. So I'm gonna end this right here. That was my toy dilemma right now. I just wanted to shoot really quickly, which ended up being not so quickly. I just wanted to share you guys how easily it piles up on the table, and I'm taking this time. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put things where they are, at least temporarily, so I can review. I've decided to review the Zeta Toys Aerobots, because there are some things that I wanted to talk about that, and then I also want to compare it to the Masterpiece Menasor that I got from X Transbots, and the Masterpiece Superion that this is going to be replacing. You'll see it when I talk about it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next review and my next chat. Bye.